Hey guys, it's Ty and welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be the start of a reading vlog. I have not done one of these in quite a while, but I decided to go ahead and do a weekend reading vlog because I am in the middle of 4 books and I'm trying to force myself to finish at least one. I have just been in a really weird reading mood where I want to read, but nothing is really like holding my attention. Not that any of these are necessarily bad. I guess I don't really know what it is I want to be reading, but I've also been watching like a lot of reality TV. I've been watching a lot of YouTube. I've just been chilling and it has not been including reading. So this weekend, I am going to try and at least finish like one book. If I can finish one book, great. If I can just make progress in the other books that I have started, great. But this weekend I'm going to dedicate to reading. So today is Friday. Technically I am supposed to be working, but I decided to take a break so that I could talk to you guys, so that's what I'm doing. But tomorrow, Saturday, I don't really have much planned. It's supposed to be almost 100 degrees here, so I don't plan on being outside much. I do have a few errands I'm gonna run on Saturday, which I'll probably do that in the morning when it is at its coolest, so I can get that out of the way, and then I'll be coming back just to read. So let me jump into the books that I will be reading this weekend. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about them until like those particular books are going to be my focus. So the first one that we have here is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. This is a book that I am reading or listening to on audio. Literally just started this morning. I am not that far in. 23 pages. This is a adult romance, which I'm really excited about because a lot of people have really enjoyed this one by this author duo. So I'm excited to see how I'm gonna feel about it. But when it comes to audiobooks, I'm not one of those people that try to finish like an audiobook in a day. I literally listen to the books as I'm like getting myself ready in the morning or doing any sort of chore around the house. So this one I don't plan on, or I doubt I will make a lot of progress in. I'll give you guys updates as I continue, but as of right now, I don't really have much to say about it because I'm only 23 pages in. So we'll come back to this one. Another one that I want to touch on, I'm actually reading it on my Kindle, and that is When I Was a Teenage Slasher by Stephen Graham Jones. Is an adult horror. This is a ARC that I received from NetGalley that I'm actually really trying to finish before it is released so I can get my review up. But this one is not as great as I thought it was going to be. So this is technically my second read from this author because people tend to really love Stephen Graham Jones, but this one just really isn't doing it for me. But again, more to come on that when I focus on it. The other book that I'm in the middle of is Ruth Ware's One Perfect Couple adult thriller. I actually started this one on vacation like 2 weeks ago. I am 153 pages into this. I'm on chapter 12. I am enjoying it, but again, I don't know. I just haven't been like grabbing for it. Anytime I put it down, it's just not one of the books that I pick up. But I am also in the middle of this one. Then the last book that I'm in the middle of that I am going to prioritize today is Red Seas Under Red Skies by Scott Lynch. So this is a adult fantasy. This is the second book in the Gentleman Bastard series. So the first book was The Lies of Locke Lamora, and I absolutely adored that book. You guys know that. I have talked about it several times. It is probably one of my favorite fantasy books, but this one, it's just not hitting the same like that one is. I don't know if it's because of my mood. I don't know if it's really because of the book, but it's just not, I'm not grabbing for it, or I'm not thinking about it when I'm not reading it. And anytime I pick this up, I just haven't been reading like as much of it at one time like I want to, or like I did with the previous book. And I actually started this at the beginning of June. I started it as a part of a buddy read with my friend Tori over at Tori Morrow. I will have her channel linked down below. But yeah, she finished this book weeks ago, and I had tried to finish this book before I went on vacation, and it just did not happen. So I'm technically like halfway through. I'm on page 343. So hopefully I can get a lot of this read today. But in this one, we are following our two main characters. We have Locke and John. They're the two same main characters from the other book, and they are both part of the Gentleman Bastards, and they're basically working on another con. So at the beginning of this, they are playing games at this like, I believe it's called like a counting house. It kind of reminds me of like a casino where they're playing like all those gambling games, but in this particular place, like the more you win, you can advance to like different floors. And I think at the start of this, they made it to like floor number 6 or something. And so the whole point of them being at this counting house or whatever it's called, is they're trying to steal from the vault, but the owner ends up finding out that they're there to do that. I think Locke actually tells the owner that, but with the hopes that him telling the owner that he's gonna be stealing from him, it'll actually help him be able to break into the vault. But then there's lies on top of lies on top of lies, and then there's another character that's introduced that interrupts this con that they're in the middle of, and this guy, he wants Jean and Locke to work on a task for him. So now I'm at the point of the story where, as a part of this task that they're not even really sure what they're going to be doing, they have to get on a boat or ship and go out to sea to complete this task. Me personally, I don't really care for a lot of fantasy books that have to do with a majority of the book being out on the sea, or people like being on boats or ships, because I don't know anything about a boat or a ship. And anytime they are describing the different parts of this boat or ship, I'm lost, I'm confused. And so finally, we are at the point where they're done with their training. We're done with them explaining everything about this ship, because technically Locke and Jean, they don't really know anything about, you know, sailing and all that. So they had to learn it, and thus I had to learn it, and I'm over it. So they are now finally about to sail out, and I'm hoping now that we're at that part that this will start to pick up and I will become interested in this again. I'm not hating it. I don't want to give off that vibe. I'm still enjoying it. I just wish I was enjoying it more and wanting to pick it up more so that I can finish it. So hopefully, like I said, I can make a dent in this, and I will come back to you guys with an update. So it is Saturday, and I've been up since maybe like 8:30, 9 o'clock. I've already went to the grocery store. I went and got my nails done. So I was planning on just staying in the house for the rest of the day and just kind of reading, getting caught up on my reading, the whole point of this vlog. But instead, I literally just made plans to meet up with one of my friends at Barnes & Noble's here in like maybe an hour. So not really sure like what we're going to be doing after that, but that is what I'm going to be doing this afternoon. But before I leave, I wanted to go ahead and give you guys an update on my reading, which did not go well last night. So my focus, like I told you guys, was going to be this Red Seas Under Red Skies. I read a little bit after I got off of work, but then I think I also mentioned in the beginning that instead of reading, I have been watching a lot of TV, a lot of reality TV. And so when I was eating my dinner, I started the next few episodes of, I think it's called The Never Ever Mets on HBO Max. It's this reality show where they take these couples who have only communicated through like social media or on the online space, and they're meeting for the first time, and they put them in this house to see if they actually have a real connection. It's so good. It's so messy, but I actually finished all the episodes last night. And then I think it was like maybe around 10-ish that I tried to pick this up. I did get a little bit further. I'm on page 399, but I don't know what it is about this that it is just not, it's not holding my attention. This is definitely not doing it for me like the first book did. And so I think I explained, like, our characters, they're on a boat. They're finally about to do this task that they were like roped into. And so stuff started happening. But again, like I mentioned, anytime people are on boats and they're like, you know, spewing all these terms and stuff, and I don't really know what they're talking about, or I can't really picture what they're talking about. So I feel like I'm reading it, but I'm not really taking it in. So I think I'm actually gonna put this down. I'm not gonna focus on this one tonight. So yeah, I do just want to say that I did get a little bit further into this. I was listening to this Love in Other Words while I was getting dressed, so I can tell you guys a little bit of what's happening. I'm only on page 55. So In this, we're following a couple, well, not a couple, we're following two characters, Macy and Elliot. They grew up together and now they haven't spoken for like 10 plus years. And so we're mainly following Macy. She is engaged and she's planning her wedding, but then all of a sudden she runs into Elliot, and then all of these feelings that she had from him in the past are starting to surface. And then it's being told in a then now timeline. And so we're just getting the then timeline from when they first met, when they were like 13, 14 years old. And then it's jumping back and forth to, well, when they're meeting now. So I'm actually enjoying this. I'm probably gonna listen to this before I leave to go meet my friends. So yeah, more to come on this. But the book that I'm probably gonna focus on tonight, I don't have the dust jacket, but it is One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. Again, I am 153 pages, chapter 12. And so I didn't say much about this book when I talked about it yesterday, but this one we're following an actual couple, Lila and Nico. And Nico is an aspiring actor. And so Layla, I think her name is Layla, she is a scientist, and so she's not really big into like reality TV or like Nico's whole acting life. Like she's not really into that. She supports him, but that's just not really her thing. So he gets this opportunity to be on this new reality show that's coming on this brand new network, and in order for him to go on the show, she has to go too, because it revolves around couples. And so he finally convinces her to participate in the show. She reluctantly agrees. And right now they have just gotten onto this island. They've met all the other couples that are participating in this reality show, and they've just completed like their first challenge. Every so often they're going to be doing these challenges where people are eliminated and then couples are like switched up and shuffled around and all of that. And so they just completed their first challenge. It worked in Layla's favor, but not in Nico's. And so now she's trying to figure out what to do, because their relationship may or may not have been fractured by this challenge. And so now at the part that I'm at, there's a really, really bad storm, and the boat, because they're on this island, and the boat that they were used to be on this island is now gone. And so now they have to figure out what they're gonna do. So that's where I'm at. I actually really am enjoying this. Like I said, just other things have been grabbing my attention more than reading, but this is gonna be the book that I'm probably just gonna go ahead and focus on tonight. I definitely could probably, if not finish it tonight, get a really good ways through, because I'm definitely connecting with this way more than that other book. Also, before I leave, I did want to go ahead and open up my book of the month package that I got. They are starting to deliver these boxes really fast, because I actually got it yesterday, which was the 5th, and I put my order in on the 1st. So that was really, really fast for them. And I'm actually really excited about all the books that I got. The first one that I have is actually a lot thicker than I thought it was gonna be. It's The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. This, I think it's like a mystery, but more on the literary fiction side. So this just says, when a teenager vanishes from her summer camp, two worlds collide. It takes place in 1975. I have been really interested in reading something from this author, because she came out with A Long Bright River, I think, a few years ago, which a lot of people had really enjoyed. It's on my TBR. I don't own a copy of that book. It's like one of those books that I said I really wanted to read at some point. So when I saw that she was coming out with this one, and it's been getting a lot of buzz and a few people have really been enjoying it, I wanted to get this one. The other one that I got is Bad Tourist by Carol Carver. Love this cover. But this one, Best Friends, Good Liars, Bad Tourist. And I think it's another one of those books where two friends are on a getaway trip and some stuff happens. I just can't get over how much I really like this cover. Another cover that I really like, it's The Love of My Afterlife by Christy Greenwood. This is just stunning. This sounds like it's gonna be a really, really cute book. This is a adult romance. But this says, a recently deceased woman meets the one in the afterlife waiting room, scoring a second chance at life and love if she can find him on Earth before 10 days are up. This just sounds fun, and I hope it is fun. And then the last book that I am absolutely excited about, and a book that I'm going to be reading really soon, Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. I'm really excited about this. I have been hearing some mixed things about it. I've heard that it's really slow and some people kind of don't like the direction that the book goes in, but I'm excited for this. Again, this is going to be the one that I am going to be reading soon. So again, I'm going to be going out to meet my friend here shortly, but I will try and update you guys tonight after I read a little bit more of One Perfect Couple. Hey guys, so I've actually been doing quite a bit of reading in One Perfect Couple. It is currently almost 11 p.m. So I did go to Barnes & Noble's earlier with my friend, and then we ended up grabbing some burgers at this place called Big Daddy's, something Daddy's, and the burgers were really good. And then we went and got some dessert over at Nothing But Cake, which I just discovered that I really enjoy their cakes there, so we did that. And then ever since I've gotten home, I have been reading. So I've actually read about 100 pages since yesterday. This evening was the only time that I've been reading, so I've read 100 pages this evening. So now I'm on chapter 22, 254 pages into it. I read exactly 100 pages, and I have about a little over 150 pages left of this book. I might read some more tonight, and then I will definitely finish this one tomorrow. So thank goodness I will be able to finish at least one book during this vlog. But I have been enjoying this. It's definitely not what I thought it was going to be. So these couples, like I said, they're on this island. I think it's like 5 couples total. They're on this island, and they were there for a reality show competition type of thing, but they only got through one competition before like all hell broke loose. And so basically what happened was a storm came, and the boat that took them there is no longer there. The boat was actually supposed to leave for another reason to come back, but it never came back after the storm hit. So it's been a little over a week, and the rest of the couples that are there, they are basically just trying to survive. You know, there are certain people within like this group that are trying to take charge. They're trying to figure out how to ration what little food and water they have, because they don't know if the boat is coming back. There's a radio that was there, but they're not able to like communicate with anybody. Nobody's responding to them. So they're just basically trying to survive. A couple of people have died due to the storm, and then another person died because of an incident that took place between that dead person and someone else. So stuff is like happening, but this just is not what I thought it was gonna be. For some reason, I don't know, I thought these people were there for the reality show, and then I knew that they were gonna have to like try to survive on this island, but I thought that there was like some killer or something on the island. I don't know, that could be the case. That's not really the vibe that I'm getting right now, but I am enjoying this. This is definitely a step up from her book that came out last year, 0 Days. Yikes, I hated that book. So I was really nervous to read this one, but I'm enjoying it. Even though it's not really going in the direction or doing the things that I thought I was gonna do, I am enjoying this one. So like I said, I might continue reading a little bit more tonight, but I'm actually really tired. So we'll see, but I will definitely finish this tomorrow. But I did want to show you guys the couple of books that I picked up at Barnes & Noble. That was not the plan for today, but I did go ahead and pick up a couple of books. The first one that I got, which I'm really excited about because I've heard all kind of crazy things about this book. It is A Little Rot by Akweki Emezi. She's the one that wrote The Death of Vivek Oji. I have not read that one, but I've seen it around. But the book that I've read from her is You Made a Fool of Me with Your Beauty. I believe that's what it's called. I read that like a couple of years ago. That was wild. So I can only imagine what this one is. So this says, one weekend, the elite underbelly of a Nigerian city, a party that goes awry, a tangled web of sex and lies and corruption that leaves no one unscathed. So I'm excited to get to this one. And this is another one where I really like the cover. It's a little strange, but I'm digging like the lime green. So then the other one that I got is That's Not My Name by Megan Lally. This is actually a young adult thriller, which I've seen quite a few people over on Bookstagram read, and they have really enjoyed it. That's like really scary to like see this empty room. If something walks past that, I'm going to freak out. But yeah, a lot of people have really enjoyed this. All I know is like some young girl wakes up on the side of the road and she has no memory of who she is or how she got there. So yeah, that sounds like something that I would enjoy. So hopefully I enjoy this. So I'm going to end this here because that is like really freaking me out for some reason. So I will have an update for you guys tomorrow. It is going to be just literally another chill reading day. I actually am not planning on leaving the house tomorrow. So hopefully I can just go ahead and knock out quite a bit of reading, but I will talk to you guys in the morning. Good morning. So it is actually Monday morning. I did not bother to film yesterday because honestly, not much happened. I literally woke up in the morning. I read a little bit of Red Seas Under Red Skies. Then I edited some vlog clips that I was getting throughout the weekend, and then I just read for the rest of the night. Because I was able to read so much yesterday, I was actually able to finish One Perfect Couple. And I think for this one, I'm gonna settle on 4 stars. I actually really enjoyed a majority of this book. I do think the beginning was a little slow because we were getting a lot of background into like our main characters, Lila and Nico. I think I was calling this girl Layla. Her name is Lila, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, the main girl and her boyfriend Nico, we were getting a lot of information and like backstory into them and why she not really feeling the relationship anymore. And we were actually getting quite a bit about her job as like this virologist. So technically she's a scientist. And so it was kind of slow. It started to pick up when they were finally heading to the island. We got introduced to the other couples and like the action started to pick up. And another thing that I really wish we would have gotten more of was like just the reality show itself, because I think they used the reality show as a way to get these people on the island, but we didn't really get to see much of like, I don't know, like the behind the scenes of the reality show. It happened for a little bit. They did one like competition. I wish maybe they would have done, I don't know, 2 because I was really here for like the reality show. Overall, I did enjoy this. I did like it when like all the action picked up. This is a perfect summer read. If you are into survival stories, I think this one will definitely work. It didn't necessarily end up in the direction that I wanted it to go, and there were a couple of things that I wished would have happened at the end, but ultimately I liked the way that this wrapped up, and I actually really enjoyed this. And I think Ruth Ware has redeemed herself, because after 0 days, when I read that book last year, I was highly disappointed, but this one was great. So for the rest of the day, I need to put out the review for that on Goodreads, and then I'm literally going to be reading for the rest of the day. I have nothing to do. I don't work today, so this is going to be the last day for this vlog, but I am going to be focusing on Red Seas Under Red Skies. I'm just hoping that if I can't finish this today, that I can almost finish it today, so that I can just be done with this, and hopefully stuff starts to happen. I don't know, but this is what I'm going to be focusing on today. So I will give you guys an update probably at the end of this. So I will catch up with you guys later. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this vlog up. It's only right before 5 p.m., but I'm tired, and honestly, I don't know how much reading I'm realistically gonna get done this evening. So I did want to just go ahead and give you guys my final thoughts over some things. So I did tell you, like, on Friday that I was reading an arc on my Kindle of I Was a Teenage Slasher by Stephen Graham Jones. I was gonna go ahead and try to read a little bit of that because I have not touched it all weekend, but I unfortunately decided to DNF that book. It was just not working for me. I DNF'd it at 19%. I don't think I told you guys anything about that book, but it's a adult horror, and it follows this like high school, well, maybe it's young adult, but we're following a high school student. His name is Tolly Driver. I think he's like 17. It's in the late 1980s in La Mesa, Texas, and he becomes a killer, basically. I didn't get to that point where he actually became a killer, but my problem with this book was it was just really slow. It was actually kind of boring to me, and it seems like it's going to be a character-driven story. I think I'm really starting to learn that I am more of a plot-driven reader, and if the book ends up having great characters, fantastic. But in this, like the 19% that I read, we were just literally following his inner thoughts, and he would go on like these long tangents, and then he would say stuff like, okay, well, let me get back to the story. And it just kept taking me in and out of the story, and I was not having a good time. But the book is not technically released yet, but I've seen a lot of reviews over on Goodreads, and people have really been enjoying it. So it's probably a me thing. I just wasn't connecting with the main character, and maybe if I was, I would have been able to stick with it. But to me, it was just kind of boring, and I don't like to just read people's thoughts like that, especially if I'm not feeling the character. So I'm done with that. But I've also been listening to Love in Other Words. Again, this is an adult romance. I have been loving this, and I actually had to make myself stop listening to it today because this was not the book that I was supposed to focus on today. But I did get 241 pages into this. I just really like the characters. So we have our main character, Macy and Elliot. I'm pretty sure I told you guys what this is about, but let me recap. So this is following Macy and Elliot when they were younger, when they were like 13, 14 years old. They became neighbors, they became really good friends. An incident took place that prevented them from speaking for like the past 10 years. And then in the now timeline, because it's told in the then and now, so in the now timeline, they came across each other, but they're in different situations. So Macy, she is set to marry this guy, Sean, that she literally just met like a couple of months ago. And then Elliot was in a relationship, but once he ran into Macy, he actually broke up with his girlfriend. So I'm loving both of these characters. I'm loving both of the timelines, and that's something that is a hit or miss for me, because sometimes when we have like dual timelines, I tend to like one over the other, but I'm enjoying both of them. I just like how I feel like honest they are about the situations that they're in, especially with Macy and how honest she has been with her fiance in regards to like Elliot. But her fiance is kind of a douche. I hope we won't have to see him anymore, because I don't know. I don't even know why she's engaged to him. But anyways, I just really am enjoying these characters. And like there's like a lot of tension because we know that something prevented them from speaking, and so in a thin timeline it's just slowly building up to this situation that happened, and I just really want to know what the situation is. And I kind of feel like whatever that situation is, it's going to be a make or break for me, because I've read plenty of stories like this where we're like building up to this situation and then the situation turns out to be stupid. So I hope that it's not like this and it actually makes sense for why they haven't talked in so long. As of right now, this is probably one of my favorite Christina Lauren books I have read thus far, but I'm hoping it stays that way by the time I get to the end, but I've been enjoying this. Now for the book that I was actually supposed to focus on, Red Seas Under Red Skies. I barely read any of this today. Well, I read a few pages. Well, I did read. I did read it today. Not as much as I wanted to, and I still have the rest of tonight if I don't fall asleep early to read it. I'm just under 500 pages. This book is over 750 pages. Again, we're just following them on this ship. So our characters got picked up. They got kicked off of their ship that they were supposed to be the captain of. They ended up getting kicked off by their crew, and then they were picked up by a pirate ship. And so now we're just watching these characters as they are on this pirate ship working. Like nothing is really happening. And I think that's what's making this really slow for me. In the other book, in the first book in the series, I just felt like so much was happening like throughout the story. And in this one, the pacing is just really off to me. Stuff would happen and then there's just like a slog for like pages and pages and pages. And that's what I'm in right now. It's just like a slog. I either want them to get off this damn boat or for something to happen. Like I'm looking for some action, something, I don't know. I'm really trying hard not to DNF this book because I need to see if it's going to get better, because I'm just so shocked that I am not enjoying it as much as I did that first book. Like I don't know. I still don't know if it's just me and in the type of mood that I'm in, but I have been enjoying other stuff. So it has to be the book, right? I don't know. But eventually I'm going to finish this and then you guys will see my full thoughts in one of my recent reads. So like I said, I am going to go ahead and end this vlog here, but I will see you guys next time. Bye.